Okay, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna see if I can show what I was talking about with pen washing earlier. Grabbed a couple models. This one has some chunkier details, so I'm gonna start there. Now this is the soft tone, and this is it just straight out of the bottle. And what I want is for it to follow these lines. Straight out of the bottle, it doesn't really move a whole lot. It's flowing a little bit, but it's pretty thick. Now I added some water, and if I just, I can kind of brush it in now and it flows a little bit, but it's still, with water, still pretty thick. I'm gonna try adding a little medium and see if that helps. Alright, so with a little medium, now we're seeing a little flow. I'd like it to be a little thinner than this still, but you can kind of see what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna add another brush load of water to this. See how that goes. I have kind of a lot on my brush. Yeah, so it's kind of a hard one to work with because of how thick it is, but you can see if I just sort of dot it in, it's not really doing a whole lot of capillary action, but it's kind of just going where I want it to, and I'm not getting the tide pull on the side if I just dot it in really carefully. For finer detail, try getting just a little bit and see if it'll flow in that. Getting a little bit of more capillary action there, I feel like. But it is harder to keep off the sides. But it's pretty easy to go in and clean that up. But keep it where we want it to be in that recess there. Sometimes I'll grab a smaller brush for these finer details. You still need something that'll hold a reasonable amount of the wash. So this is a 0. Yeah, that was a good one. You saw where it connected there. It works really nicely with something with high viscosity like an ink. And you get some real good capillary action, but even just sort of being able to brush it on or dot it into the recess can be nice. It's just really shallow, so I don't know how well this is gonna work. I'm kind of having to just brush it in place for these really shallow details. But it is flowing enough that it flows down in there, so I'm not getting stuff like left up on the deck. I don't even know if you can see that on camera really well. If I want to add some shadow like on the sides of these ridges here. But anyway, that's the general idea. I don't have another wash or anything on my palette right now. But if you get something with higher viscosity, you'll get some better capillary action going. But even with a thicker one like the soft tone here, you could do what I was doing where you sort of dot it in, or almost like you're brushing it in, but you let it flow down into that recess. And you don't get any of the color tinting on the higher surface that you can see here when I was doing just the pure soft tone that I brushed on, versus when I dotted it in, you just sort of cleaned up the edges if you get a little over the edges. Anyway, I hope that's helpful.